Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and let's get this party started. I just took the trash out. I'm still, I've told you before on this channel, two of my pet peeves, two things I hate more than anything in this life, is unloading the dishwasher and taking the trash out. You would think that after 4 years of doing this, I would not have to take the trash out anymore, but I just had to do it. And I unloaded the dishwasher a couple days ago. These are tasks that I'm waiting. Gary Gensler, if he'd get out of the way, maybe I would be able to live a life where I could just point at the dishwasher and somebody just did it, but I'm not there. Okay, let's get this party started. Gold Telegraph, a former trader has told jurors that spoofing the gold price was common at Bear Stearns before the JP Morgan merger. In other words, it was common for a big bank to manipulate the gold price. You don't say. Now, I think that this problem right here is worth, first of all, I think gold is worth much more than what the price shows when you look at gold prices. I believe that the prices of gold and silver have been manipulated for years. With all of the money printing and all the debt that the United States is in, and not just the United States, but other countries around the world, I believe that a $10,000 gold value right now is cheap. I mean, that's what I really believe. I think it's probably worth well more than $10,000 an ounce, and should be, because of the complete loss of faith in the fiat monetary system that has only been created by all of these politicians and government bureaucrats doing the exact opposite of what you would do in your home for your family. In other words, when things get tight, you tighten up. You don't go out and start borrowing more money. Well, that's what they've done. That's what the government has done. Is instead of doing the responsible thing, they've just spent more money. Said, oh, we'll just paper over the problem. Well, you and I don't do that. We know that would destroy our families doing that. But these idiots go out and they've done it for decades now. So yeah, do I think gold's worth $10,000 to probably $50,000 an ounce right now? Yes, I do. I believe it's worth every bit of that. And I believe these people, I don't think this is just banks. I think this has been a coordinated thing over decades to manipulate the price of precious metals. And the reason is because if gold spikes too much, then the game's up for these central bankers. And I believe I don't think it's JP Morgan or any of these banks going rogue. I think they're just like there's no coverage that's not favorable to the banks. It's because they're all in it together, folks. They're all in it together. Now, that's why Glint's one of my sponsors, and that's why I keep buying gold, not just through Glint, but I buy physical gold, which you can buy physical gold through Glint too. But I've been accumulating gold in my Glint account so that I can use my Glint debit MasterCard and actually have gold spending power if the time comes. If the need arises, I will be able to spend my gold instead of fiat if they finally do destroy fiat. Okay, and the link to that will be in the very top of the description of this video, by the way. All right, the SEC hearing is today, and all the whispers are that there's going to be some tough questions, at least from some of these Congress people, towards this SEC enforcement director. And so I tweeted this out. SEC, it's not newsworthy. From what I can tell, CNBC and Squawk Box aren't even covering it. They only like covering coverage glorifying their government partners. We'll make sure that they're aware of it, though. There's a real power when you are a truth teller, when you're putting the truth constantly in front of thousands of people right under the noses of the liars. It can't be anything but a good thing, because exposing them is exposing these liars and these people who are carrying narratives to not let people know what the truth is that's going on. That is the equivalent of a lie, no question about it. Okay? So to expose them and to keep rubbing their nose in the truth right in front of them, it just chips away at their credibility with the people that really matter, and that is the thousands that are on a search for the truth every day. There's a reason that my views and several YouTubers and my Twitter account, I mean, some of these things rival CNBC. Think about the millions of dollars that have been poured into that network over the years. And their viewership is terrible because people aren't stupid. And all of these people for decades have operated on the premise that, oh, well, all the people are stupid. We can manipulate them. We'll put out this, we'll put the news out this way and they'll believe it. That's the whole premise, is that you're stupid. Well, people aren't stupid. And I think the people are rising up. I think the people are sick of this. Ask Gary Gensler. Okay, so here's the hearing. It's at 10 a.m., July 19th, today. All right, I will be watching it. All right, this is interesting right here. ACI is a Ripple partner. They do $14 trillion each day. This is put out by Digital Perspectives. Listen to this video.
Out to do. And now let's jump into the $14 trillion market cap. Quick breakdown on what it could mean for XRP.
By the way, I don't know who this guy is that's speaking.
Given the circulating supply of 54 billion, puts XRP at $259. Given the circulating supply of 65 billion, XRP would be trading at $215. Circulating supply 75 billion, XRP would be trading at $186. And again, my final thought, is this really realistic? Yes, very much so. I just showed you guys how it would work. Keep in mind, this is just one entity.
Now, folks, here's what I'll tell you on this. I don't know if his numbers are correct. I don't know if this ACI info is correct. And by the way, give this guy a follow. I guess he's the one talking. I don't know if his calculations are correct. What I do know is that the digital asset investor would not be here if I didn't believe that these were the kind of numbers, if not a lot more, that were going to be the result of all of this. And here's another thing I know. I know that Ripple's been in existence for 10 years. I know that there is no other digital asset that has been attacked more, that has had more lawsuits, that has had the SEC coming after them, that has had more FUD, that has had more enemies coming at it. And I've always known that they were coming at it for a reason. You know, if you're a guy if you're in college and you're single and you've got a really good looking girl. I remember being in college and I remember when, you know, having a good looking girlfriend, that was almost a bad thing because you're constantly having to fight off a bunch of guys. Now, if XRP was not the one and was not the fastest and the most scalable and all that, there wouldn't be all these attacks. There's a reason for the attacks, folks. History repeats itself, and there's nothing new under the sun, okay? You can take the same lessons, even from dating in college. But there's a reason for all this. There's a reason that I have been passionate about talking about one company and one digital asset for all these years. It's because we're right. All right. Digital Currency Group, turns out, I mentioned this yesterday, turns out Digital Currency Group did loan, they had $1.2 billion loan to Three Arrows Capital. Voyager had a loan gave a loan to them, Celsius. So apparently this Three Arrows Capital is at the center of all this. Now, Ripple yesterday made a big to-do out of Jed's wallet, this surprised me. I didn't think that they would even mention it. Starting the week off with some XRP history and context of Jed McCaleb's taco stand wallet. And it says the stand is finally out of tacos. Now this is interesting. I had never seen this. It says the ongoing saga. And then it goes, right here, I didn't know about this. Jed's departure from Ripple and the creation of an accidental billionaire. Let's see where this takes us. Okay, that takes... He's an accidental billionaire is what they called him. That's interesting. Then it says, ultimately, the ongoing saga, ultimately an agreement in 2016 outlined this. All of Jed and his children's remaining XRP, approximately $5.3 billion, would be placed in escrow with the XRP released in a manner consistent with the settlement agreement. Jed was allowed to sell his remaining XRP based on the daily volume in XRP markets. Jed was required to donate 2 billion XRP to a charitable donor-advised fund of his choice. He also agreed to sell all of his shares in Ripple, the company. So apparently the guys at Ripple were excited about this because all of them were mentioning it. Brad Garlinghouse, tacos anyone? JK, the stand is closed. And then David Schwartz says he does the Titanic gif. It's been 84 years. All right. Leading into this congressional hearing, I wanted to remind Congress of a couple of things. One, Congress, in your lead up to the SEC hearing, let me draw you a picture. Jay Clayton's SEC engineered the Ethereum free pass with secret meetings with Joseph Lubin. JP Morgan, led by Christine Moy, who is right there beside Joseph Lubin, who was led by Christine, was working with Ethereum from the start. You can watch this video. Joseph Lubin says they were JP Morgan was there at Ethereum before they even launched the Ethereum mainnet launch. And Goldman Sachs was too, because Charles Hoskinson said they had senior Goldman Sachs programmers on it. Okay? So then Jay Clayton and Bill Hinman engineer Ethereum free pass at the SEC. Jay Clayton leaves, drops the lawsuit against Ripple as he walks out the door. Then he goes and Apollo Global Management appoints Jay Clayton as lead independent director. Then a few months later, what happens? Christine Moy, partner head of digital assets at Apollo Global Management. She's there with Jay now. This is what's going on, Congress. And if you want to really find out what's going on, start asking them questions around this. And here's another idea, Congress, because remember, all Gary Gensler cares about is disclosure. He wants to protect the investors. Well, as you'll find out in this video, Homeland Security knows who the 4 Satoshi Nakamotos are. There's 4 people that created it. This is a video of this woman. We have the person, her name is Rana Sawad, okay? She's with Homeland Security. I want to know why the CFTC claims that they're the ones that control Bitcoin because it's a commodity, but they only designated a commodity in part because there's no third-party issuer. Well, now we know that they knew the 4 third-party issuers. So my question is, why is the CFTC or the SEC not interested in doing what Gary Gensler says?
The public benefits by knowing full and fair disclosure and that somebody's not lying to them. Basic protections.
I agree.
And whether you're buying a crypto token or you're buying a security such as equities or a security such as an asset-backed security, those basic disclosures, because we in America let investors take risk. You get to decide what risk you want to take, but the person raising the money and selling you those financial assets ought to not defraud you, ought to give you the information so you can make your decisions.
We looked at Bitcoin was the most prevalent at that point. We had seized quite a bit of it, millions of dollars worth under the Silk Road investigation. So one of our agents who started looking at another online marketplace through the deep web, which was called Black Market Reloaded, they were sending weapons through packages and ordering them on the dark web. And he was really, really smart, forward-leaning agent. And he goes, I want to go interview Satoshi Nakamoto. And we're like, what? He said, yeah, I want to go interview this guy. And at the time, we're like, hey, it's a figment of somebody's imagination. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not true. So, we had all this pushback from our headquarters. And we thought, hey, if an agent wants to go talk to him and we have some money, why don't we send him? Let's find out how this works. So as it came to be, the agents flew out to California and they realized that he wasn't alone in creating this. There were 3 other people, and they sat down and met with them and talked to them to find out how this actually works and what their reason for it was.
All right. So our government has known this for all these years, and they've let the world think that nobody knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is. And we have an SEC and a CFTC who don't think. Now, there's people buying Bitcoin every day who do not know the names of those 4 people. You're talking about putting an investment at risk. If you don't know who those 4 people are, you're exposed. Why do they not want that to be disclosed? That's my question. And by the way, do you know who was involved, who was neck deep in this way back when? Neck deep in all of this, what she was describing was Katie Hawn. Katie Hawn was a U.S. Justice Department prosecutor. She's the one that went after Ripple, and they had a settlement calling XRP a virtual currency. But she was right there in the middle of the Silk Road and all that stuff, okay? I'm betting dimes to donuts that Katie Hawn knows who those 4 people are too. Somebody ought to stick a microphone in her face and ask her as well, because she's made a lot of money off of the whole proof of work thing over the last few years. And if she had knowledge that the public didn't have, somebody needs to be asking her questions. And then there's this, folks, because now this is how you know just how arrogant these people are. This is how you know it's almost like they're sticking it in your eye and saying, you know what? We know that we're all corrupt, but guess what? F you. We don't care what you think. This is how bad it's gotten. And this, folks, this is how you have revolutions when your government officials get this arrogant. This is how really bad things happen. You really couldn't make this up. This is Gary Gensler. Gary Gensler just took this guy on, okay? Look, let me show you down here first. A warm welcome to Commissioner Jamie Lizarraga. I look forward to working with you. Now look what Jamie Lizarraga has been doing. He recently served as senior advisor to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. In that role, he oversaw issues related to financial markets, small business, international finance, and immigration. He also served as Speaker Pelosi's liaison and worked closely with the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. So many of you may not be aware, but right now, there's a major controversy that has been going on regarding Nancy Pelosi and her husband buying stock in chip manufacturers just ahead of there being legislation that would benefit chip manufacturers, is my understanding. And this is who this guy puts in place right in the middle of that? What in the world's going on? I'm a digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that there's a lot of smoke coming off of this one. This one stinks, and that doesn't have anything to do with politics. I don't care who you are. If you're in Congress and you're buying stock on information that you have as a result of being a congressperson that the public doesn't have, you ought to be put in freaking prison today, not tomorrow. Ask Martha Stewart how she feels about it.